I'm going to place an afterthought heel in this sock, and before I do that I'm going to insert scrap yarn where I would like the heel to be. So this is half of my stitches that I'm knitting across right now. I have 40 stitches on my needle. I'm knitting across 10, and then I'm at my back center marker here, and then I will knit across another 10. So that's the bottom or the back of my sock where that marker is. So now I'm going to knit across another quarter of my stitches, so 10 right here. So I will have 20 stitches worked in this scrap yarn, in this gold yarn that is scrap. Okay, so here I've got my 20 stitches. And now I'm going to get my stitches. I want to start knitting back over those stitches with my working yarn. So I'm going to slide, in my case, I'm going to slide these 4 blue stitches, my working yarn, onto my double pointed needle, and then I'm going to bring my working needle over to the other side and slip over these 2 stitches that I had already worked. If you're doing your socks on a magic loop or 2 circulars, you'll have to slide all of the stitches that you worked in the scrap yarn back onto the left hand needle. But in my case, I was able to just move my needles over to where I needed to start. Now, beginning with the first stitch in the scrap yarn, I'm going to work across those scrap stitches in my working yarn. Okay, so I've got 10 of those stitches knit, and now I will be knitting the other 10, the other half of those stitches with my working yarn. And then once I have worked across those, I'll just carry on knitting the foot of my sock. So this right here is for the heel. Now I'm knitting my foot. So right here where I have this gold yarn, later on I'm going to take that out and knit the heel out of it, just like this sock here. Right here I had placed my scrap yarn along both edges, here and on the other side. And then I opened it up and knit the heel out of that space. So that's how it looks. And I'm going to proceed with my foot, and you can cut the scrap yarn if you used it from a ball of yarn like I did. All right, and then a few rows into the piece, this is what it'll look like where you have your scrap yarn. Happy knitting!